How are you? We go about our daily life interacting with people all the time and we're always, hey, how's it going? How's it going? How you doing? And I have noticed that for some time now, I'm trying to think of how long it's been, but it has really been ramping up, if you want to call that, I guess. I'm seeing a very high return of people responding to how you doing with, I'm surviving, I'm hanging in there, I'm making it. Only a few more days till weekend. I can't wait till the weekend. I can't wait till things settle down again. There, used to be, it was more of just a rhetorical question anyway, but the answer was generally doing okay, doing fine, doing good, feeling great, whatever it is. But these days, and for some time now, most of the responses I seem to hear anymore are more survival based. And I think it's the thing now. I think our baseline is more about survival than it ever used to be. At least in recent times anyway. We've all gone through life where we've had our ups and downs and all that stuff, but it feels like just by my interactions with people, my conversations with people, that generally the baseline of that might be more peace, calm, fun, or just okayness is now at a stress level. That our base is being stressed, being anxious, being worried, being fearful, being stuck in a spot where we are wondering if we're going to survive financially, physically, whatever sort of way. And there's a lot of that feel going around. Have you felt it too? Do you feel it in your own self? I know I do for me. I've gone through life generally where I feel like, I'm not somebody who has a lot of stress as a natural thing, but for quite some time now, I've realized there's just kind of a baseline hum going on of a certain amount of stress that is always there, and I'm semi-aware of it, sometimes not at all, but when I think about it, or I pause, or I'm in those spots where I can be a little more reflective, I realize, yeah, there's some stress going on. Yeah, I've got a tightening of the muscles. Yeah, I am, there is, a shallow breathing, for me, it tends to be shallow breathing, a little more knotted in the stomach, and just kind of maybe a clenched jaw or a tightness up in the shoulders and the neck. And if it's really a lot of stuff, I feel like I'm just slumped down, like the weight of the world on my shoulders. And, exhibits in a lot of different ways to different people, and depending on what sort of stresses you may have. But the baseline seems to be, for folks anymore, to be one of a higher level stress than we've ever had before. Is this true for you? It is for me. And sometimes I can go through and reflect on it and put some brain on it and kind of chalk up some of the causes of things, which, for some of the bigger stressors, definitely, that's not hard to do. And, but sometimes it can be so many things in such an interwoven mix of stressors that it may not be so easy to delineate what's actually stressing. It's troublesome, isn't it? Because it's not good for us. I don't like it. And, it's good when we think about it, if we can chalk it up, especially to several things or one thing or whatever it is, that what are the main causes of stress? And then we can examine those and say, okay, is there anything I can do about those stresses? Because some things are just out of our control in life. But some things we can have a certain amount of control, which we change our routine, we change the environment of things, we change whatever our common surroundings or common stressors or whatever are, and we can change that pace or systematically go through and resolve those things that are stresses. And sometimes it takes a while to resolve those things, but there are some things that are in our control that it would be good to reflect on periodically, maybe daily, maybe several times a day, but somewhat frequently, so we can be on a plan to remove these stressors because they are so bad for us. And the more we can do that, the better it is. But also, it's good to have things that can offset the stresses, things that can regulate us, things that can help us, just doing a whole body check, like I talked about in a video recently, where you just kind of going from head to toe and, okay, my brow is furrowed, I'm clenching my jaws, I'm not blinking, I'm not breathing, I am tightening a muscle. And you can go by and just tell yourself, okay, it's all right, let me relax. Let me relax my scalp. Let me relax my forehead. Let me relax my jaws. Let me relax, my eyes. Let me just start to breathe. And some of these things we can step by step go through and recognize, and also, unactivate or deactivate those things and let ourselves just calm. And if we find that's happening, then probably have to do that fairly often, because we just tense up and we don't always notice it. Also, breathing is so huge. Just to, we get in those spots where we just have shallow breaths. It's a thing. And so to just be able to take deep breaths or cleansing breaths to help regulate, to help reset and recenter. And then also make ourselves out a list of places we can go, like this behind me. I am, trying to really make sure that I incorporate, if not walking, at least going to a spot like this, something around some vegetation, some nature, to start every day or throughout the day, even whether I feel like I need it or not. I'm always so glad that I did when I go and just spend a few minutes for me, because it's all around. A few minutes by the ocean, or a few minutes, a little park area, or a few minutes just around nature, or some birds, or, whatever it is that I can find that's nearby. And it's easier here maybe than it might be in some areas. But if you start to think about it a little bit, no matter where you are, there's going to be some spots, and maybe even create your own in your house or apartment, or a little nook, or outside, a potted plant, preferably with flowers on it, some greenery, a little tank with a fish in it or something, whatever it is. Sometimes those things have so much more power in helping us to de-stress, helping us to get our focus off of the things that are stressing and put our focus on something more peaceful and calming, that just bring us down, help us to breathe. They soothe us, they comfort us. Now, granted, we could fill ourselves up with all kind of stuff, and those become coping mechanisms that don't actually resolve anything. And we need those things to help de-stress us, to stabilize us, to calm us down, to bring down that level of stress, recenter us, but those aren't generally a solution. So if we have things that go on in our life, it's really important to delineate, what are they, what can I do about it at any kind of level, even little baby steps, just any little sort of thing we can do to help go toward resolving and changing whatever situation we find ourselves in that is causing that stress. Man, we need it now more than ever. And, it's an epidemic, and it's out of control, and, it's our life now, and it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. We don't have to sign up for all the stuff that just pours in and gets us in a state. The more we can consciously go through and try to delineate, okay, I am stressed, let me de-stress. Now, what is it that's causing me stress? What is it that I'm worried about? What is it that I'm having resistance to? What is it that is troubling me, that I, am frustrated with? All those kind of things. I mean, everybody's fuse is so much shorter. You see it all the time. Even in myself, I'm generally a patient person, but I find sometimes in traffic where somebody will come in and it's like, oh, come on, and it's no big deal. There was plenty of room, and maybe I had to touch my brakes to slow down a little bit to let them in, but it doesn't really bother me. But sometimes I find myself going into this mode as if they've done me some sort of wrong, or that I'm bothered about it. And the reality of it is, I don't really care. And I can ease off my brakes, and I can slow down or stop and let people go. And I try to do that. But sometimes I find that there's just an irritation factor that's just there. And there's an annoyance, easily annoyed about things or frustrated about things. And that's not good. But those things are there as indicators that, hey, guess what? There's something that needs to be resolved. There's something that needs to be faced. There's something that needs to change in whatever is going on. So sometimes we can look at all this stuff, we're just like, oh man, my life, oh, I'm just so, whatever, and beat ourselves up and just sing the blues about our life. But all of these things, all our triggers, all our emotions, all our upset, our added stress, all those things And our body's reaction to them are our body's ways of saying, hey, 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 little kid driving this adult body. Hey, guess what? Something needs addressing. Something needs resolving. This is not good for us. We got to learn how to listen to that and get in touch with that and realize that it's there, because our new normal is to be stressed. Our new normal seems to be to just tune out all these things that our environment, our body, our emotions are telling us that something's got to give. Something needs to be resolved here. This is not good. This is not healthy. This is not in alignment with your soul, your heart, your ways of thinking, the way you want to be. So put some brain on it, identify it, resolve it, fix it. But to start off with, sometimes, especially if we're in an activated state, we've got to do something to take ourselves out of that activated state and lower that level of stress, anxiety, frustration, fear, anger, whatever it is. So that's where getting in nature, breathing, being around animals, whatever helps you. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there, that helps regulate you, helps to de-stress you. This kind of stuff is so good for me. Just be able to go to the ocean, which is all over the place, or go to some flowers and plants. And I'll tell you this is really handy for me. I have been a photographer since summer before my senior year in high school. And I can get lost just taking pictures of things, especially if I get in close with the waves or turtles or if it's under the water or flowers or just whatever it is. And there is something very therapeutic about that, because it takes our focus of all the things that are in life and we focus on something in nature and creation instead of just all of our troubles and worries. Now, granted, that could be an escape or a coping mechanism if you let it be, but it can also be a way of recentering and lowering the stress and calming down. And there's lots of things like that, all kinds of activities we can do. Going for a walk is fantastic, or a swim, or going out taking pictures, talking with a friend. There are certain friends that can help regulate us. There are certain friends that just have these wonderful hugs, that sort of thing. Make yourself a list of what those things are, and as you go through each day, maybe, or a portion of a day, say, boy, I could really use a hug right now, and so is my hug person. Let's go meet up for coffee and trade hugs, because when you give hugs, you also receive. And it's a beautiful thing that's kind of built into it. So there's all kinds of stuff out there, but we need them now more than ever. And if you say, no, I don't, then there's a pretty good chance you're in denial. So if you can find some sort of spot to go to nature, go to some spot where you got calm, and go to somebody who gives you a hug, and then do that body check. Am I breathing? Am I stressed? Am I hunched over? Am I clenched? Am I fist tight? What is it? And then you realize, okay, I actually am apparently stressed. I am in some sort of activated state. Let me do some calming breaths. Let me do the hugs. Let me have a nice coffee to just smell and just savor, or whatever it is, these little teeny basic joys and comforts can help bring that level down, so we can be more reflective and get in touch with our body and say, hey, how's it going in there? We're making it. We're just surviving. We're barely doing it. It is so important, because this stuff will kill us. It will kill us. We got to do it. So anyway, I hope you're doing all right, and I hope you're hanging in there, but I also hope more than that for you. And I hope to the point we can get to the point we can at least say, doing okay, doing fine, or doing great, doing fantastic. And it's not just because we're putting on some false, toxic positivity or some bravado. It's because we're actually feeling fantastic. Man, I just had a great day. I was just down at the water and some turtles swam up and I spent all this, and then, man, that's a whole better baseline, don't you think, of being one stressed and frustrated and just bugged at everybody and irritated and just in this frazzled state of mind and body. We have the power to choose. It is a choice. And sometimes we don't even realize it's going on there, that there needs to be a choice. So anything we can do to regulate, to bring down those levels, and then we can do a self-check and see, hey, what's going on here? How am I feeling? Is there anything bothering me, frustrating me? Go through the whole routine. I hope this is helpful. Hope you have a great day today. Catch you later.